So this may be a tough pill to swallow, but women are lying to you. They have been lying to you for your entire life. You have heard over and over that they don't like cocky, arrogant men. Guess what? That's a lie. And at the heart of this lie is actually one of the biggest cheat codes in how to actually attract women. So let's talk about it right now, why women love arrogant men. Before we get into the controversial stuff, let's start with something we can probably all agree on, men and women, which is women actually do like confident men. I think we can all agree on that. We've heard that a lot, but here's what matters. But why? Why do women like confident men? And there are two main reasons, which actually fundamentally are kind of the same reason. We didn't evolve in the modern world. We evolved in small tribes where people knew shit about each other. People knew each other's character, and it was hard to fake things. And so typically, if you were confident, it's because you had earned it. It's because you had some level of competence. You would not be confident in a tribe if you were the useless loser that was contributing nothing to the tribe that everybody hated. But if you were the best hunter in the tribe, you would be very confident. If you were the best warrior in the tribe, you'd be very confident. If you knew how to fish and bring food to the table for your tribe, you would be very confident. And obviously, for a woman, she wouldn't want to be with that incompetent man who would bring nothing to the table and not be able to help her raise offspring. But there's actually a deeper reason why confidence is attractive, which goes beyond mere competence, which is this. We as human beings are social creatures, and confidence reflects social proof. It reflects how people have responded to you throughout your life. If you are confident without basis, you are going to get your ass kicked. If you walk around saying you're amazing when you're nothing, someone's going to punch you in the face. So the fact that you are confident shows not only a likelihood that you are competent, but it also shows a likelihood that others have acknowledged you as competent. And very importantly, it indicates that you have a support network of other people. Because even the most competent person in a cave person society would not be able to survive on their own. That support network, that social proof, the fact that you have alliances, friends, people that will stick up for you, people that will vouch for you, people that have your back, is actually super critical to survival in that situation. It's a reflection that when you've been confident in the past, it didn't annoy people. It's a reflection that people accepted your confidence and agreed with you when being confident. Okay, so we can all agree, confidence, good. But what about arrogance? Arrogant, cocky people are annoying. No one likes someone who reminds you they're right all the time. No one likes someone who gloats and gives you a hard time. No one likes someone who's strutting and thinks they're better than you. And that's actually the point, because arrogance is confidence on steroids. So it's a little annoying if you're confident and don't deserve it. It's massively annoying and grating and offensive if you are arrogant and don't deserve it. So arrogance is confidence on steroids. All the reasons why confidence is attractive, multiply it by 10, and that is why arrogance is attractive. Because if you can get away with being arrogant in a world where everybody knows each other and not get punched in the face and beat up and ostracized from the tribe for 20 years, you must really be bringing some value. And that's why in caveman society, being fake arrogant wouldn't work. Yes, you might be sort of attractive for a second until you get kicked out of the tribe and die. However, in the modern world, everybody doesn't know everybody anymore, but we're still evolved the same way we were back in those caveman days. So when you walk up to a girl and you are arrogant, she notices it. You get on her radar and she thinks, holy shit, who does this guy think he is? He's either amazing or absolutely the opposite, but you're not in the middle. And when you look at the bell curve of who's attracting women, the top little segment of the bell curve is attracting a lot of women. The bottom segment is attracting none, but guess what? The middle segment is also attracting almost none. So if you walk up to a girl and she thinks you're in that middle segment of the bell curve, she's not going to be attractive. If you walk up to the girl and she thinks you're either in that top segment or that bottom segment, this is a guy to pay attention to. This is a guy who has a high chance of actually being attractive. This is a guy I better pay attention to. This is a guy who is a viable possible candidate. The other major benefit of arrogance versus cockiness is simply this. It's more noticeable. Let's say you see some guy that's dressed relatively well with just a little tiny bit of extra flair, or you see some guy that's dressed totally fucking outlandish. Which one gets your attention more? Now, there are some benefits to being understated, of course, but from a pure attention perspective, if you want to get on girls' radar, arrogant, cocky gets on their radar much more than confident does. In short, what I'm saying here is that another reason why being arrogant, cocky is attractive is that it demands a reaction. And what do we as human beings react to? I'm going to go a little theoretical here for a second, but I'm going to say we react in nature to things that are either perceived as of value to us or as a threat to us, right? If we're walking through nature and we see a tremendous resource of food or water or wealth, we like that. That's value. If we see a poisonous snake or we see a tiger, we react to that because that's a threat. It gets on our radar, it gets on our attention. When you're being cocky, what are you? You're either a very high value man who a girl would be well advised to become attracted to, or you are at least a social disruptor of some kind. You are something that is going to have an effect on the girl's social standing, how things are going to occur around you. You're something to be paid attention to. And in particular, for very attractive, in-demand women who are used to men showering them with compliments, kissing their ass, tiptoeing around not to offend them, most men just have no chance with them because they simply don't get on her radar. Even if you were to get on her radar in a slightly negative manner at first, you still have a much better chance than if you don't get on her radar at all. And this is why these girls that are like, I hate cocky guys, I hate arrogant guys. Well, they at least notice cocky and arrogant guys. And if they notice you, what happens next? Well, one of two things. Either they accept your cocky and arrogant frame, which is great for you, they accept that you're amazing, or more likely what happens is they give you shit tests. They engage in some level of confrontation, some level of banter with you, which gives you an opportunity to demonstrate your high value nature. You get a chance to show them how you react under pressure. You get a chance to misinterpret what they say and show your frame control. You get a chance to not react to the shit they give you and show how unflappable and actually deeply confident you are. So in a way, it's a bit of a heads I win, tails I win. You accept my frame, I win. You give me shit tests and I pass them, I win. Either way, you're setting yourself up to become very attractive very quickly in her eyes. So that's the theory. But let me tell you, down in the trenches as a dating coach for the last 20 years, I've also seen in practice how powerful this is. Guys who have so much to offer, but they walk over to a girl apologetically and justifying themselves and asking permission and asking if they can maybe have her phone number, do not get results. Guys that swagger over and say, hey, have you noticed how attractive I am? And say, oh, okay, I'll take your phone number now, do get results. So if we can agree now for a second that cockiness and arrogance could in fact indeed be attractive, another question comes up. And this is actually something a student asked me recently, and I actually thought it was kind of a funny question. He actually texted me and said, how do I act cocky? And I was like, what do you mean? You act cocky by acting cocky, right? Because cockiness is an attitude more than it is a technique. And so if you do cocky things, you're acting cocky. If you pretend that you are amazing and act accordingly as though you're an actor playing a role, you're being cocky. But I realized this guy wasn't just like, he wasn't gaslighting me. He actually legitimately did not know practically how to be cocky. And so I thought about that and I realized that, maybe even if you know that you're supposed to be cocky, even if you know you're supposed to be arrogant, there are guys out there who simply don't know how to do it. So I'm going to give you 5 concrete cocky, arrogant things you can do that work, and hopefully this gives you a sample and helps you to be that overall. I will say once again that cockiness is an attitude more than a technique, and if you can honestly put yourself into the role of a man who really thinks he's amazing and attractive, the kind of guy who walks past a mirror, looks over and says, I'd me, right? If you can be that guy, a lot of that cockiness is going to come naturally, but if you need some techniques, if you need some training wheels for cockiness, here they are. Now, these arrogance hacks are not for everywhere in life at all times. These are to be used specifically with women in a social setting, and they're to be used as training wheels while you are learning to be more cocky and arrogant. These things are abrasive. I don't suggest you use these at work or with your mother or things like that. They're for a very specific context, and they're in order to facilitate you developing that cocky attitude. So this is not universal, but these are some training wheels for arrogance. Arrogance hack number 1. When receiving compliments, don't be so modest and polite. Instead of, oh, thank you, or oh, no, it's not me, be like, I know. Because you do know. You are arrogant, you are cocky, and you do know you're amazing. Arrogance hack number 2, and this is actually a specific game technique. Misinterpretation. Misunderstand what people are saying to you as a compliment or a sexual advance, or as a bigger compliment or a sexual advance. So if a girl compliments you on your shirt, you could say, thank you. which would be the non-cocky thing. Or you could say, wow, you've been checking out my chest and my physique? Easy, slow down there, girl, if you wanted to. Or you could say, thank you, but it's staying on tonight. Those would be misinterpretations, for example. Or if a girl says, you're really funny, be like, thanks, but I think we should take it slow. We just met each other, right? These are misinterpretations. And by the way, I have tons of videos about misinterpretation and flirting techniques because these are so powerful and they come up a ton in game. Arrogance hack number 3. When narrating your life or your stories, narrate them through a high value frame. You could say to a girl, half jokingly or maybe even half seriously, yeah, you know, life can be tough for attractive people such as ourselves. Or you could refer to yourself as an attractive new stranger or something like that. Or you could tell your stories in a way that implies that women have been attracted to you and you find that completely normal. So how you narrate your life, how you tell your stories, can have that little hint of arrogance that is so attractive. Arrogance hack number 4. Refuse chances to qualify yourself. So if a girl asks you to try and impress her, or to try and tell her something cool about yourself, oftentimes the lack of effort, the assumption that you don't need to do that, can be very, very attractive. For example, if a girl questions how cool you are, you can be like, yeah, well, whatever you think is totally fine. I really don't care. Something like that. The lack of effort to impress her is actually a subtle form of arrogance as well. Arrogance hack number 5. When going for a close of any kind, don't ask permission and don't ask if she would like to, just assume it's on. So don't say, can I have your phone number? Or would you maybe want to give me your phone number? You say, what's your phone number? Or you say, I don't normally do this, but yeah, I guess I'll take your phone number. What is it? Or yeah, how should we get in touch? I guess phone numbers? That probably makes sense. Something like that. You want to be more assumptive about your closes. And obviously that's a bunch of lines on the phone number. The same would apply towards taking a girl on a date, taking the girl home, etc. You want to be assumptive rather than asking permission. And a final bonus training wheel for arrogance. Any disqualifying line you have ever heard from me on any of my infields, on this channel, anywhere, those are all arrogance. When you say, you and I would not get along, or, you know, I think we should take this slow, or the easy girl, we just met, all of those types of things are arrogant as well and are very, very powerful. And again, those are littered across all of my channel and all of the examples you see of me talking to women on the channel. So that's the theory, that's the practice. Go forth, be arrogant, start getting actual reactions from women, start getting on their radar. Now, quick word of warning. If you've always been a nice guy and you start being arrogant, you will get shit tests. Please don't fear that. That is a good thing. You may fail them at first, but it is a necessary step. There's sort of a kind of a continuum for guys. There's the guy who's too nice to get shit tests. There's the guy who gets shit tests. There's a guy who learns to pass shit tests. And when you get to that point, that's when you're going to start getting crazy results. And then eventually you start to be the guy whose frame is so strong you stop getting so many shit tests, although you still will occasionally. But shit tests are a good thing, especially if you have traditionally been too nice, so do not fear them. All right, go out there, be that cocky asshole that women love. Oh, and by the way, if you simply don't know how to handle shit tests, check out this video I'm about to put on the screen. It's a great resource for that. All right, take care. Thanks for being here. Talk to you later.